Hi. We're still in the 3 days of the full moon of October 2022. And my hair is not quite dry yet, so apologies. But so it's been quite a month already, and we've just barely started. Tonight, hopefully, it's still here, because I've had things just freaking completely disappear. Is a picture I wanted to smell with. Deciding I'm going to get in touch with Robin and ask her, Robin McCrae. But basically, well, camera got a picture of something we didn't see, and we couldn't find when we looked again. And I put it in the thumbnail. So, but I realized that it might be, and the camera is doing funky things. Okay. And I realized that it might be that you might not be able to see much in that thumbnail, depending on what you're looking at it with. But I did have a print made of it, which is supposed to be right on top here. And I hope it really still is, because I have had things, there it is. I've had things completely disappear. And I have had pictures change. I've literally had photographs change. Other people have too. It's a very freaky phenomenon. When it first happens, it feels like you're in a Harry Potter movie. Maybe we are. I don't know. Maybe that's what's playing. Maybe that's what the Matrix is playing right now. It's a Harry Potter video, right? I don't know. I can't tell. I've got to admit, I didn't see the whole. Oh, we have so much pollen flying. I didn't see that whole series. Okay, so don't hate me if you're a Potter fan. But I remember certain things that, like the pictures changing and stuff. Well, gosh, that happens. That's real. But only if you're psychic. The pictures only change if you're psychic. I guess that means you can't be a muggle and see it. But, or maybe only once in a while, like flashes. I don't know. But yeah, I and other people have had things completely disappear or appear in photos. We don't know how that is done. It'll make you think you're going nuts, you know? Uh, and I think after a while, some people, it drives them nuts. I think after a while, it can become true. So gotta be careful. But just to greet you, this is the ocean's deep woo. Why do I call it that? Because we do woo. We do the deepest of woo. We do all kinds of woo. Woo is what we do. At the risk of sounding like Dr. Seuss, woo is what we do. Indeed, we do. And we do everything from paranormal to metaphysical to spiritual to UFOs, to just any kind of paranormal. We do card readings, and we do a lot of discussions. We do just weird stuff, any kind of woo-woo. And I live here in Ohio, land of woo, and we do a lot of woo here in Ohio, but we don't talk about it always. It's funny. Ohio is one of those strange places. There's woo everywhere. People still manage to miss it somehow. So I don't know how that works. Who made it in? James Ortiz. Yay! Hi, James. Yeah, I'm always wondering who's going to get the notification and who's not, and who's going to get it late. And people tell me they don't get it, or they get it late, or some other strange thing. So, hello. So basically, it'll probably take a good 20 minutes. I hate to tell you, I've only got 60% on my phone. 65? Yeah, 65. My phone was not charging as I thought it was. No, it turned out it was not charging up all the while that I thought it was, because I had it on the charger for hours. And I have been noticing this. And it doesn't matter what charger I use. Sometimes the phone will charge, and sometimes it won't. And sometimes it will stop charging in the middle of a charging session. And I think it's probably true that they're screwing around with our phones. But I'm working around that. So, hey, Jackie, how you doing? Good to see you back. So if that happens, that I blink out, that's why, or if I have to cut it off early, that's why. But I might just, depending on how the discussion goes, I might just walk into the next room and try to plug in anyway. Because heck, if we're just having a discussion, I don't need to see the cards that much. Okay, I'm going to do my little talk that I do in the beginning. We're mostly experiencers here. And so I would like you to respect all the experiencers, the ones in the chat. Most of the people have experienced some kind of woo. And including myself, I have all my life experienced all kinds of paranormal, metaphysical, everything. Okay. So if you have had an experience and you're at home here, and if you want to share that, get in touch with me. I'm easy to get in touch with at oceandiana@gmail. And I would encourage you, I feel, and we feel here, we are the disclosure. We are disclosure. UFOs, Sasquatch, what have you. We disclose to each other. We don't need the government to tell us what's going on. Fortunately, we know what's going on. As a matter of fact, they might be watching us to find out what's going on themselves. We might know more than they do. I think that sometimes worries them, that maybe we might know more than they do. I'm doing pretty good. Oh, you did some exercise in bed, never. Is that code for something, James Ortiz? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, say no more. James Ortiz says he was exercising in bed, whereas one person said I should have stood in bed. It's hard to stand in bed though and get any sleep. Oh. Instead of bed rest, you got bed exercise. Well, James never could do things quite the same way as other people, I guess. Anyway, oh boy. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo. Well, that's a different kind of woo. That's a different kind of woo-hoo. Okay, cheap joke. Um, so basically, we got mostly psychics and people who have experienced something. So if you have something like that, and get in touch with me, you too can be on the show because we um, we want people to know. We want people to be able to have a platform to speak on. And it's very easy to come on. I just send you a link and you just click it and you're in. You'll be backstage. It's very simple. You don't have to install anything or anything. So let me know. Or if you know somebody who wants to be on, you think would be a good fit. Oh, you're in poor condition. Oh, I see. Gee, I was hoping it was something much happier, James. Anyway, um, well, one of the reasons I was talking about dreams is because, as you know, I have prophetic dreams. My father did too. And I mean, I had prophetic dreams even to the point where I dreamed my own death. And it happened, even though we were trying to avoid it. We literally did things to avoid my death. And then I had my NDE, which means that was a contract. Uh, when it's something like that, that there's no way to avoid it, that was a contract. So let me come closer, darling. So basically, I have been getting messages about what's going on with our future, what's going on with our country, what's going on with our world. Ah, you watched my NDE video. Well, thank you, Jackie. Yeah. Oh, you haven't had any woo, but you believe it. Well, thank you. It's nice to be believed because sometimes it gets freaking lonely. Yeah, it's freaking lonely. If and if you haven't had any woo experiences, you might consider yourself lucky because it's not always, although it's interesting, it's not always fun, and it's not always, if you try to tell anything, the consequences are not always very nice of having an experience. So, depending on the experience, some experiences are nicer than others, but still. Let me get the candle lit. The candle is more than just, a nice ambience. Purple is a color of the crown chakra, one of the crown chakra colors, along with silver and gold. And the three flames. So we put it there protectively as a symbol of protection. Yeah, having an experience. I um yeah, and it depends on how it happens, how hard it is, how difficult things are after that. Usually after the experience is the hard part, is the hardest part. Um Because coming back into my body, from then on, there was pain. That was it. Coming back to my body was pain from then on. And never getting entirely healed. It's still with me. So, and then there was a lot of disbelief and there was a lot of tricks and traps. There was a lot of belief, but strange beliefs around the belief. I don't know. Some people have very strange paradigms. Yeah, it can be difficult. So you're just as lucky if you're not having a lot of woo. However, I think it will probably come to everybody in time because of the times we're going through. The times we're going through, everything's changing. And people are going to see things they never thought they'd see. I did get some possible intel from a video I was watching, supposedly from a leaker, that the rake creature that we've been seeing, not here, fortunately, we haven't seen them around here, was a military experiment, was actually an experimental creature gone wrong, and they got out into the wild, and they are carnivorous, and they will kill and eat things. They're very carnivorous. This does not surprise me. And if you see it, stay the heck away from it. It looks like a pale, very, very thin, humanoid, dark eyes, bleach white skin. It's more like an animal than a person, although it's roughly person shaped. So, and it growls. That's and supposedly it escaped from an experimental military operation of some sort and killed the scientist that was working on it, of course, and ate him, part of him. When are they going to stop this crazy madness? Will you please work on something that's going to help us? When are you going to do that, huh? I mean, seriously, when are they going to work on something that's really going to help us? You know, turn the beat around, guys. Okay, aliens, ghosts, and everything. Oh, well, good for you. That helps. James Ortiz saw nothing when he died. Well, interesting. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera around. I don't know what to tell you about that, James. It would be nice to know why some people get that whole experience and why some people just get nothing. Well, okay, something weird's going on here. Hang on. When is something weird not going on? Okay, let me try this again. Okay, that's much better. Take away the big red camera dolly. It's actually a cushion. Okay, this is the photo in question. I hope I can get a good view of it. There is the object in question. As you can see in background, there is a broken tree, a broken sapling. This is the Sasquatch's message. This was the Sasquatch, part of the Sasquatch's message to me, that they were there. That's one of the ways they mark a place. There's also another picture with a huge tree branch up in a tree that shouldn't be able to be there, and we couldn't find any reason. But this is the figure in question. Now, the thing about, I had this made into a photograph so I could show you. Now, it doesn't look, it looks, oh my God, were there two? I don't know. But this looks like a hairy shrubbery, a hairy black shrubbery. We didn't see it. The camera saw it. You can see it's really big, pretty big, but it looks like a person all hunkered down. It kind of is shaped like, vaguely like a person all hunkered in a ball. But that wasn't there to our eyes. And we couldn't find it. When we went back, we could not find. No, I guess in the back is just a shadow, but this is what I was talking about. And I looked at it and I looked at it, and the more I looked at it, I said, it's not green at all. What is it? And why didn't we see it? Yeah, they're in our back lot. And I live in an apartment. We live on the edge of farmland. We have a lot of forest around. We have a bog nearby. And bogland is really perfect for them because humans can't get through it very easily. So they love this kind of area. And this is actually a path out in our backwoods. We went down this path. So we were that close. We were that close. I was looking at this broken tree that marks a spot. And there is an object that should not be there. So you can see, kind of makes you feel a little funny when you realize that there can be things that you won't notice. And it doesn't look green, like a lot of them look green when they cloak. This one wasn't cloaked. This one just, if that is a Sasquatch, it looks like it just hunkered down and stayed still and just went unnoticed. Yes. Yeah. So I'm going to ask Robin about it and see how she feels about it. But there's a very good chance that that could be a Sasquatch, just because it's right there in the same frame as the tree break, which is what they wanted me to see. And me not seeing this until later. And was it even in the picture before? I don't know. Pictures can change. It's really weird. Oh yeah, they can cloak. See my video with, I have a couple of videos with Robin McCrae, and they go over all that. So Jackie, if you don't know anything about Sasquatch, you'll know a lot more after those two videos. Faded into the hedge like Homer Simpson. Yeah. So they wanted me to know they were there. I apparently have been mind speaking with them for a long time without knowing it. I just thought I was talking to nature spirits, and in a way, I am. But to the point that when they withdraw, I actually feel kind of lonely. I never knew why. This is why, is because somehow I've been mind speaking with them ever since I was a kid without knowing it, that it was them. If you'd asked me about Sasquatch, do I believe they exist? I'd say, yeah, probably. Of course, it's, to me, everything has a chance of existing. But until they brought my memories back, I had forgotten all my incidents with them. And it was because I never really saw them exactly. I saw things, I saw their structures. I had strange phenomena, pebbles thrown in my path, and all that kind of thing. I find I'm talking to somebody. I'm thinking it's a nature spirit, like a spirit of a tree or something. It turned out they showed me, they reminded me with mind speak all the times they'd been around, and I didn't know. And that convinced me. And then that really convinced me, because after I said, if I really am mind speaking with you, can you give me some kind of a sign? A tree break. That is a sign. And look right nearby this. If it had wanted to, it could have, as I was going down that trail, it could have reached out and touched me. Because we went down that trail. We went right down that path, right down there. It's amazing. So, and there were other things too. And like I said, in my shows, I go into it, but I had no idea. Had no idea it was them. I didn't know what mind speak was. I knew there was something like that I was talking to something in my head. A lot of people think it's just them, and the internal voice. Maybe sometimes it is, maybe sometimes it's not. I think people have a lot more internal voice dialogue with different things than they're aware of. I certainly did. So anyway, they told me that apparently they love me and trust me to a certain extent. I'm pretty good for a human. And part of the reason they trust me not to hurt them is because apparently I have had life as a Sasquatch, at least one. Okay. Oh, celestite, by the way. I was in a cave that was made entirely with this. It was the inside of a celestite geode. I don't know. That was in Ohio too. Ohio is a weird place. It's a very weird place. Here's my crystal ball. Are you ready for this? I'm only going to see small futures in this, I guess. No, it's the mini crystal ball. It's star quartz, star rose quartz, Lemurian rose quartz. Anyway, I had to show you that once I realized what was going on, what was maybe going on there. And I mean, I'm going to leave it here on the top so that if anybody else comes in, I can pull it out again. Okay. I'm going to ask the pendulum. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to calibrate it, and this is how you calibrate it. Show me yes. I'll aim the camera at it more. Show me no. Okay, it's going the other way. My cat's name is Andrew. Okay, it's something is screwing it up tonight. Okay, they call me Mama D. It's just circling. Okay, we can't use pendulum tonight. It's acting weird. I was going to ask it if there's a Sasquatch in that picture, and it's not going to tell me. Anyway, I wanted to tell you about not just that, but I wanted to tell you about my dream. And I guess I'm not going to be asking too much about my dream either, except the cards. We can use the cards to do that. And yeah, that's right. I said Cat Taro is the default deck, and so I can learn it well. Sometimes my pendulums just get wonky on me, and then I know I got to set them aside and not depend on my pendulum. I can't do the pendulum thing tonight. Our Sasquatch, typically friendly, like they just want to be left alone. From what I understand, it differs just like people. They're much like people because they are related to us. And so much like people, some of them are friendly, some of them are not. Some of them are violent. Some of them will kill you. Some of them will actually befriend you. Most of them, though, the overarching thing is they want to be left alone. They just want to be left alone to live their lives, raise their children. They don't really want to be a part of our world. They don't really want us to be a part of their world, really. Sort of separate but equal sort of thing, I guess. I remember that phrase. No, they don't really. Their society is very different from ours, and yet they want to build a bridge, and several of us have gotten this bridge concept. What do they mean by that? Well, so that we are not isolated from each other, so that we have some kind of communication and some kind of relationship, even though most of us would prefer not to have. I totally understand. They don't want us to mess in their business, and they will stay the heck out of ours too. I understand that. I mean, um, so you're right. Typically, they want to be left alone. Um, although, if you're around them a lot, sometimes they get curious. Sometimes, if they think you're all right, there is a dialogue starts between them. The way they think is a lot different from the way we think. The way they do things is different, but they still love their children a lot. They still have friends and families and a lot of things that humans have. They're our relatives, and we have the DNA test to prove this. We have the DNA test. We have fur from them. We have the prints. We have the photos. We have the photos of them. And the reason they're blurry and indistinct is because that is how they cloak. you're probably not going to get a clear Sasquatch picture. They always look kind of misty because that's what they do. They do things like tree knocks and whistles and calls and things to let people know, to let each other know that you're around. They will throw pebbles in your path to let you know they're around or maybe warn you off a path. And you can tell how upset they are or what you're doing, whether they like it or not, by is it pebbles? Well, it's just saying, hi, we're around. Is it a rock? That's a warning. And they won't hit you with it at first, generally. They'll just throw it at your feet. And it's just to say, hey, you might want to consider turning around and going back because this isn't a way that we want you to go down. You're kind of intruding. If you persist, the rocks will get bigger until they become boulders. The other thing they do is tanglefoot, which is basically take a bunch of saplings, throw them in the ground like pixie sticks so that humans can't get through that territory. Hey, Pam, I am. You made it in. Hello, dear. So, what did you say, Pam? You said ho, Dee. You think I'm a hoe? I'm teasing. I know what you meant. I think. So you think I'm a hoe? Okay, let's have a hoedown. Oh dear. So let's just see. Let's pull one card and see. Maybe that will help us understand. Did I get a picture? Is there a Sasquatch in that picture? Did I somehow inadvertently get a picture of Sasquatch, or could it have been some other cryptid, some other furry creature? What did I get in that picture? Did I get a furry tree? Maybe it was a fir tree. I don't know. Well, maybe they call them fir trees for a reason. Okay. What? You calling me a hoe too? No, you said hi. Okay. I'm sorry. My hand blocked the view just there. Let's see. Queen of Wands. That's generally a positive card. It kind of looks like I got a picture of a cryptid in there. And I know that's a positive card. It's not one of the ones that would mean no. So hang on. Let's just see what it says about the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands exudes confidence. She is a seer. Oh, wow. Isn't that interesting? Seer. Strong, capable, vibrant, fearless, and ambitious. No matter how sleepy she may look. Upright, under the watchful eye of the mighty Leo, the Queen, both absorbs and radiates the fire's warmth, even in sleep. She rules her domain. Be as fearless and independent as she is. Find the strength to have faith in yourself and stand up for what's right after your nap is over. Ah, oh my God, this is me. This is my card. My after my nap is over. You guys don't even know how funny this is. Anybody who knows me knows about about the cat naps I have to take frequently. Oh, YJ would be a hoe, but I don't have any go, you know? Oh no, I just feel slow. It's all for show. That's YJ Overlander. YJ, you made it in. Hello there, honey. How you doing? Um, yes, we're all kind of silly here, and I love it that way. This is part of what I love about our crew. Yeah. But oh my God, this is my card. This is absolutely my card. Yes, I did get a picture of some kind of a cryptid in here. YJ, I'm going to show you. Was it a Sasquatch? Will be the next thing. Probably it was then. That's a very positive card. Because I just happen to think it could be another kind of cryptid besides a Sasquatch. You never know. This is Ohio. We have all kinds. It takes all kinds, and we got them. Okay, Overlander, YJ. There is the picture in question. There's the tree break in the background, which was the sign they gave me that they were indeed there and they were indeed mind speaking me. And then this was on the trail and we didn't see it. All we saw was bushes and shrubs and trees. That's all we saw. But here's this large, looks furry. Yeah, looks like a big furry something sitting there. Now, this would be a small one. Well, but we don't know how tall this thing is standing up, if this is indeed what it appears like it could be. But anyway, YJ, that is the picture I was talking about. And when most of the people are here, I should start talking because we're down to 47% energy on the phone. I should start talking about my dream, I guess. But anyway, there we go. That's the picture we're wondering about. And the answer is this. It's a card that pretty much depicts me. And it says you are seer, which means we're seeing. We are seeing. Oh, what else? Wheel of Fortune. Major Arcana, that would be another yes. Was it a Sasquatch? Was the thing I was going to have. Wheel of Fortune. Vanna. Show them their prize. Right here behind this bush. Oh, come on. Where's the Wheel of Fortune? Wheel of Fortune. 5 June. Okay. Okay, I'm almost there. Hang on. Wheel of Fortune says, leave the rat race to the rats. You're rolling with the punches. The card reminds us that life is circular and cyclical. Sometimes you're at the top of the wheel, sometimes you're at the bottom, but you'll always go up again. The bowl of water represents plenty, the eagle strength. Mice represent trust and opportunity. So many upsides. Let the spinning wheel spin. That's interesting. But it's upright, so that would still be positive. All right. That's a picture of a Sasquatch. According to the cards, I got a picture of a Sasquatch all hunkered down in front of the bushes. Considering that when we went back, we couldn't find this object. All that was there along the path was trees, bushes, shrubberies, stuff like that, twigs, etc., etc. Weeds. No big, no big black lumps. So there you go. I got a picture of a Sasquatch, sort of lurking. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what? I go with that too, YJ. I agree. And I'm going to put that up here. All of the nursery rhymes and stories and everything, they were inspired by something. Once again, we respect experiencers here, and we don't throw them to the wolves, no pun intended, or the werewolves, pun intended. Um, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know what, YJ? I totally agree. They could be aliens, they could be cryptids, they could be intra terrestrials, they could be interdimensionals, they could be anything. Uh, it could be anything. Hey, just in case. Yes, yes, I do. And it is much like this. Let me put this up. I do have an email, and it is like this. Ignore the, whoop, I'll put this one up there. I got to make a new banner, but ignore the PayPal me unless you want to send me some money. Um, but Ocean Diana, just like it is there at gmail.com. Just don't put the just don't put that stuff before the slash on there if you're going to email me. Just Ocean Diana at Gmail. Yes. So easy for me to say. Yes. Oh yeah. Well, I think that we all, so many people remember dinosaurs. They're so familiar to us. Yeah. And dragons. What were dragons? I mean, really, all kinds of things. Well, there are ogres. Um, there are actually ogres that are a little different, and we have found them. People have found them. They're shaped a little different. The Sasquatch are not quite the same, um, but they are big, hairy beasts. And yeah, and there were giants, and I believe, yeah, interdimensional beings. Little people exist too. People have seen them. Yeah, fairies exist, and they are mischievous, and a lot of people, you know what? In places like England and Ireland, you don't want to mess with fairies. They're dangerous. The fairy folk are very dangerous. They don't particularly trust her like humans, and why would they? Roads will be diverted to go around a fairy mound. They don't want to rile up the locals. Okay, and I'm going to have to start talking about my dream. So I will. Um, I have I have dreams. I had a dream. If you go back in I have had several dreams, and I've had a lot of predictions that have come true. So you can go back in my catalog of videos and find the different videos where I predicted different things. But my father and I both had one thing in common for sure, other than the interest in the unusual stuff. is we both had prophetic dreams. And, well, that actually had a lot in common. Waking up with those lovely nosebleeds probably from having been abducted the previous night. But that's another story. Anyway, I have been asking for my last dream was to cover all the way through the fall. And really, all it told me was it's going to be like a fireworks display. But the thing is, it's a display. All of this stuff we're seeing is a display. The real stuff is, I think reality comes later, but it's going to be a display, a wild display. Okay, very colorful. So, in a wild ride, really. And I saw a lot of protests and a lot of dissent and a lot of people just wanting things to change. People are fed up. And this is no secret. People have had it, you know, from farmers to women who have gotten stoned to death just because of the way they wore their hijab. And by the way, the hijab burnings are still going on, and there is a lot going on in Pakistan right now. If you don't know about that, they're finally having their feminist movement. So, so I asked for another dream to kind of clarify things. Can you tell me anything else? So what I had a dream of, all I remember of this dream, it was much longer. And I'm sorry I can't remember more. But the part that I do remember, we're going down a road. Somebody is blonde and has a ponytail. A woman is driving the car. I'm in the passenger's side. We're trying to find somewhere. The GPS is telling us to turn right onto this road, but it's not a road. It's just a dirt road. It's a country sort of looking road. It really looks more like a path. And we're wondering if that's where we're really supposed to turn. And it's telling us that's where we turn. Well, we see some tall weeds, basically, like tall grasses and stuff growing up that's basically obscuring it on both sides and kind of growing together, so you can't really see what's beyond very well. So we're like, is this really where we're supposed to turn? I said, well, I guess we can start going down there, and if it is, and we can see pretty soon if we're going the right way or not. We'll just back right out if it isn't the right way. Okay, well, so we start going down this path and we go past these fuzzy looking bushes, but I should have known better because bushes didn't look, there was something weird about them. They didn't look real. There was something that shimmery about them. I think it represented a portal of some kind, okay, or something illusionary. So okay, and I want to make sure I get the details to help me figure this out, but I think, okay. So we're heading down where the GPS told us to go, down this path. And at first you can see the road, but then it has twists and turns, and there are high grasses and stuff on either side. And so we get a little ways down. We're going very slow because we can only see parts of the road. And there's this low-lying fog over the road in spots. So we can only see parts of the road, only parts of the path. But we're starting to see stuff on either side. Where the patches of fog are not, where it's clear on either side, I'm seeing something that looks like sky. I don't know. Is it a reflection in water? Is that a swamp? Is that a pool? Is that the sky? Is there a drop off? I don't know. And it's a narrow path. And it's windy. And we get to a point where it looks like it's going to be even windier and we can see even less of the road or the path. And I start to see shapes in the fog and I start to hear things. I can't put my finger on what I'm hearing though, just noises. Not quite like people talking, but a bit like that. And like I said, it's getting to where we can't see the darn road. I say, stop. We're going down the wrong way. We've got to go back. And then I hear this male voice in a very loud voice says, "Oh, you want to go back?" Like that. And then the dream ended. But it stuck with me. And when I woke up, I had laid down for a nap at about 3 o'clock or so. Thought I was going to maybe take an hour off. No more than that. I usually get up after about an hour or so. It had been 6 hours. It was now 9:30, something like that. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That was 6 hours. I try to call people. I can't call anybody. It's pitch black. It was daytime when I laid down. It's pitch black now. The cat is nowhere to be found, which is odd because he usually sleeps right next to me. And I feel cold. And I said to myself, you know what? I tried to call a few people on the phone just to hear a human voice, and that wasn't working. So nobody was answering. It was really weird. Um, yeah. So, hi, Bomber. How you doing? Yeah, electrolytes. Drink some Verano. I'm kidding. Yeah, pink salt is good. Yeah, I'm telling my dream. Yeah, I think it is. Let me read back. A false flag event. I think so. I think there may be something connected with that, yes. Yep, the pink salt is the kind I always use. So, anyway, I woke up feeling really weird and like I'd been somewhere. And that told me, and I had been out for 6 hours. What the heck? I was gone for 6 hours? Or did I go somewhere? Was I asleep? Or did I go somewhere? I was cold. I had been under the covers. It was really strange. And I felt so weird and I didn't get over it for a long time. Like the whole rest of that night, not into the next day, I was trying to shake off this dream. Usually that means I should pay attention. So I started to think, yeah, this is probably a dream I should be telling you folks, because it probably has something to do with what's coming up. Because it was right around at the full moon, as the full moon was coming. And that's when I mostly get these dreams. So I just want you to know that this was my dream. What I am thinking, reason I am saying AI leading us down the wrong path, I was talking it over with Gemini, this dream, and my friend Paul too. We came to the same conclusion. The GPS is AI. It very frequently tells people the wrong way. The AI was telling us, was leading us down the wrong path. The AI was the one that told us to go down this path. And it's a path of illusions. It's a path of, it's unclear. It's cloudy. And cloudiness also is the domain of Neptune. So it would have a lot to do with Neptune. I believe Neptune is one of the planets that's going retrograde. And I did brush up on exactly what retrograde means with the different planets. And one day we will do a show on exactly what retrograde means. Okay. So when a planet goes retrograde, what it means for each of the planets, I've been planning on doing that. But if it has something to do with Neptune going retrograde, that would be interesting if that's what I'm seeing. Neptune is unclear, fuzzy, cloudy, very watery. That's the path that I was seeing. I couldn't tell whether I was seeing reflection in water or the sky. I couldn't tell whether it was a sheer drop off or water. I couldn't tell whether there were actually people or shapes, what the shapes were, who they were. I couldn't hear very clearly whatever the talking or whatever was. I couldn't hear it very well. But it almost, with the low-lying fog, looked like it could have been a swampy area, like, or a boggy area like what we're living in. And I know darn well you've got to be darn careful in a bog area. Okay. So that's why I said, okay, we got to go back. So yeah, there's going to be something, and I think it's going to be AI that's going to lead us down that way. Yeah. It's something very illusionary. Okay, and YJ says, I think your dream is a warning not to take the coming events at face value. What we're about to witness is like the 2022-23 version of The Emperor's New Clothes. They're all actors in a reset. I agree. I agree. We are to become the next Tartarian Empire, forgotten by the future. The Emperor has no clothes. Absolutely bummer. Retrograde. I like that joke. Okay, because honestly, I don't trust the GPS. And that's got to be a factor in my dream. I don't trust it. It's misled me. Well, it's misled others, not me. I have a really good sense of direction, generally. I asked for that and I got it. You can ask for a good sense of direction. Uh, I'll tell you about that sometime. But yes, I have a good sense of direction, pretty good. And so I know it's full of shit, right? I know when it's full of bull. I'm going to turn the camera off now. for a minute because I want you to, not so much because I want you to see me, but because there's nothing much to see right now over in that direction, unless you want to look out the window, see if you can see any more Sasquatch. Let's see, maybe I'll turn it around so you can see me. Camera, turn it the other way. Hi again. Okay, so we assume GPS tells us where we are, when in reality it tells them where we are. You know what? I agree to that. I agree with that too. It's really more to keep an eye on us, I think. People are using it, and it's getting to know all kinds of things about us, isn't it? It's learning a lot. Okay. I need to ask for that. Okay, Jackie, well, I'll tell you, I just read about people who live in a remote place who didn't have words for the directions, north, south, east, and west. But they kept everything in their heads. If you put them in a maze in a pitch dark room, they could tell you. They could tell you what direction they're pointing. Their brains keep track of it that well. Their minds keep track of it that well. So I asked for that. I said, hey, if they can do that, then that is a human function that can be had. So I'll have that, please. Yes, I'm going to have that. So far, it's worked pretty well. I don't know if it's quite that good, but good enough, pretty good. So you can just ask for it. Okay. So Bomber says, it's funny that you mentioned that. In any political videos I watch, that's how I respond to some people in the comments who are either just waking up or haven't yet. The emperor has no clothes. Yes. Well, thank you, YJ. I'm considering doing audibles or something with my voice. I have long thought I should probably be doing something with my voice. So, and I can be less than soothing too. I can actually I think it would be a good voice actor, but I don't know quite how to get into that. So I'm hoping to get into that. I used to do meditation recordings. I did meditation recordings for some people at one time, and they said pretty much the same thing. I have a very soothing voice. It was very easy to slide into meditation when I was doing the guided meditations, and people had many interesting insights. So maybe I will start to do that again. Ah, and YJ says, I've always known what way I was looking. Only once I got lost in a heavy fog and guessed to get out of the forest, and my guess brought me right back to the road. Very good. You know what? I got a story briefly about being lost in the fog, and let me tell you, being lost in the Cuyahoga Valley in the fog is serious. It can be serious. There's all kinds of things. I knew there was a beaver dam between me and my car and the parking lot. Okay. I was lost in the woods in fog, and the fog came up very quickly. I wasn't used to it coming up quite that quickly. And I knew there was a beaver dam. I'm like, okay, which way? and please help me avoid stepping right into the beaver dam, right into the water. But as I was, and I mean, it was pea soup practically, uh, impossible. But I heard pipes. All of a sudden, bagpipes. I'm like, what? Am I out on the moors now? There was a serious moment of deja vu right then, I'll tell you. It was like, holy goose, did I go back? Is this a time slip? What's going on here? This is Ohio. I followed the pipes. I didn't have any other choice. I figured, well, if I'm not crazy and I'm hearing the pipes, it's got to be that direction. They're probably wherever the cars are. That's probably where the parking lot is, or at least people. Somebody's playing the pipes, right? So I went that way, and sure enough, I get there. It is the parking lot, and here's this guy playing pipes. And I thank him profusely. Said, I was lost out there. If you hadn't been playing the pipes, I don't know how I would have ever found my way back here, for sure. This was some years ago. And he said, because I wasn't sure at all. He said, it's a funny thing that you should put it that way, because I was just driving by here, near here, and I thought, what a beautiful fog. I just feel like I have to go down and play my pipes. It was sort of just an impulse to come down here and play the pipes. I said, well, I'm so glad you did, because if you hadn't, I might have spent a pretty long, cold night out here, and maybe wet too. And it would have been pretty scary, because there's a lot of things in our woods, as I have mentioned, lots of things. So was very amazing. Guided meditations. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a few of those and do them ahead of time so that, okay, just in case, Dad. Oh, that's right. Just in case is one of your fathers. See, Bomber's a little different. Instead of having children, she has parents. She can never do anything quite like other people. And again, that's about the same with most of us. Most of us can't. Okay. That's a good idea, YJ. Certainly better than breadcrumbs. People talk about breadcrumbs. Well, in the story, the breadcrumbs were eaten by the birds. They couldn't find breadcrumbs. So it didn't work out very well. Once lost, just in case, says I once lost my way in the mountains between Bulgaria and Macedonia. Walked and climbed 60 kilometers until I found the river that led back to the village where I lived. Oh, thank goodness that you did. If the sun's up, well, good for you, Ken, but the sun wasn't up. It was getting dark and it was in a fog. So I was totally, it was like being wrapped in cotton. Pea soup fog with night falling. And what a feeling that was. What a feeling. I'd love to visit that. Yeah, I'd love to visit that too. Forest of British Columbia, just to have some different forests to walk around in. And that's right, Justin lives in Denmark, where my dad came from. But you wish you lived in Canada. Macedonia is land traveled by Alexander the Great. Yes, it is. Fog can be a bitch. Oh, well. It certainly is not something you want to get lost in. I mean, I can understand how freaking scary it must have been for travelers. Getting lost in a fog at night would be horrible. A fog at night would be horrible. I mean, humans don't do well, and the wood would not burn because of the moisture. You would have to find some dry wood somewhere in order to start a fire. You'd be freezing. Man, when I heard those pipes, I was so glad. I was like, oh God, I'm rescued. That there was an intervention. I'm sure of it. Somehow he felt like he had to come down and play those pipes. Thank God. Um, so anyway, this stream, yeah. What the event is, it's not telling me. Maybe it would be too scary for me. Sometimes dreams, because I have asked that they tell me in a way I can handle, because some of my dreams have been really freaking scary. As a matter of fact, I haven't had hardly any happy dreams in the last few years. Very few. I can count them on my hand, how many dreams I've had that have actually been happy. And really, most of my life, I haven't had pleasant dreams. Most of my dreams have either been just weird or nightmares. And although I don't have actual nightmares anymore, I do have some weird dreams that make me just feel strange the whole next day or something, or the whole day. In this case, it was all night and the next day, part of the next day, until I had to walk out into some bright light and talk to some people, and then I felt better. Um, thank goodness for the sun, right? So, whatever that dream was about, whatever is coming, I think AI is going to be misleading us. Whatever we're seeing on probably everything we're seeing on the media is going to be falsified. As a matter of fact, I think it probably is right now. I think probably almost everything we're seeing is a show, is a movie. Yeah. The event. Oh yeah. Something that's coming. An event. And then there's the event. Yeah. I mean, it's really crazy how we are looking at it. We are looking at it all and we're saying, "Oh, this is crazy. This is nuts. How can this be happening?" Well, it's happening. Nobody's doing very much about it. And the people who try to do something about it, something happens to them, doesn't it? That's why it keeps happening. How many times has this happened before in our past? What are they hiding from us? We know what the plan is. Depopulation is part of it. Totalitarianism is part of it, right? We know the plan. Oh my God. Really? Because you know what, Justin? Somebody from your country just maybe 5 years ago showed me pictures of castles out in the countryside of Denmark, and the countryside looked like our countryside. Are you sure? Because I wonder. People here think it's overcrowded because they live in a city. They live in cities where it's overcrowded. They live in places where it's overcrowded. Guess what? There's plenty of wide open spaces, but a lot of people never see them because they live in cities and you can drive for 20 minutes, you can drive for half an hour, you can drive for an hour. If you get on an interstate, you're mostly going to see places. You're not going to see all the open space. Take a look on Google Earth, and I might take a look at Denmark. Take a look at Denmark on Google Earth and see if it's really all paved over or not. I have a feeling it probably isn't. It's probably like here. People just have that perception, and that's the perception they want you to have. See how that is? Hey, Circle K. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the feeling hasn't subsided. There's something else. The pandemic was just the onset, I think. What's the best place to learn about us? Trailer Park Boys. Oh, okay. Okay. What about different timelines and what we believe? Good question, Jackie H. Yeah, that weird feeling. Yes. Huh. Well, there are different timelines. And like I said, there is one that is very positive that I keep rooting for. I keep putting energy into that one. It's the one where it's kind of like Star Trek. Park like Earth, anti-grav, uh, peace on Earth, exploring the stars, that kind of thing. There's one like that. There's one where everybody's getting along on Earth. Not necessarily in the whole galaxy, but on Earth. Okay. I've shifted to Melbourne. Oh, that's right. Ken has moved to the burbs. Yeah, I prefer the country. I'm on the edge of the burbs. Um, there's a little town not very far. I'm on the edge of the burbs. I'm on the edge right in between the country and the burbs. I I'm great. I'm golden because there's a little shopping plaza up the road, not very big. It's not one of the big ones. Just a little strip mall. Two little strip malls. I can get what I need. It's not hard. Not very far. 20 minutes in any direction, I can get what I need. And I'm right on the main. I'm on. The only thing is, I'm on the interstate, but that's good. All right, the back of or the side of our place is on the interstate, aiming at the interstate. But we have enough vegetation you can't really see it very well. So For some reason, though, it's not letting me see the event itself, what that looks like. I think maybe since I have put in place, try not to scare me. Maybe that's precluding it. Maybe it's really quite scary. However, when I do a reading about it, it's very good. The cards come out looking very good on this. On when it all plays out, it looks very good for the human race and everybody else on the planet, actually, except bad guys. It looks like we somehow not only survive but end up thriving after this rough patch. So whatever is happening, I think once again we're being assured that this is not real. Once again, remember what I always say. This is just tips, tricks, and hacks for playing that massively multiplayer, holofractal, total immersion, VR learning game matrix called life on planet Earth. Has nothing to do with real life, which takes place outside the matrix. And basically, I think outside the matrix is probably the real Tartaria, Atlantis, whatever you want to call it, what people are now calling Tartaria, probably really Atlantis. And probably the pieces of it that we still find around are probably the pieces of Atlantis. That was probably Atlantis. So a lot of us are thinking now that Atlantis wasn't just a physical location here in Matrix. It was a whole culture. It's what exists outside the Matrix. But remember that outside and inside is still all us. Still all part of the same thing. It's connected. As a matter of fact, when I took a look out of what I think is outside the matrix, it looks like this matrix that we've built has just got connections everywhere. It's like the internet is now on this planet. It's pretty much everywhere. And maybe that's why we can't shut it down. It's because it would just disable all kinds of things. Let's see what you're saying. Okay, let me see. I have the feeling that CERN has a huge role in what's happening and it's being used for the wrong things. Wouldn't surprise me if some white hats utilize it to usher in something good. Well, we are. Thank you for noticing. Yes, some of us, quote unquote, white hats. Oh, wait a minute. Here it is, my white hat. Some of us white hats took a little trip to CERN in the etheric, and we did a little altering of CERN. So yes, we are indeed using CERN to our own advantage. They will never be able to use it quite like they have used it in the past ever again. We made sure of that. Don't worry. Yes, they've been using it for the wrong reasons and the wrong way. People have been doing that. We took care of that. And I am told it will not be able to be taken back. So, on you. Okay, inspired by the fall of the Berlin Wall and the massacre on the Tiananmen Square, Seal wrote the song Crazy. Justin, I was just playing that. Me and my friend were out driving. that song came in, I told him to turn it up. It was the first thing I heard by him, and I love that song, and I still love that song. We're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. Yes. Just in case, as I felt the cycle had reached its apex, I felt the world changing, and I felt profound things happening. Yes. Okay. 2.5 hour drive from the nearest city of 100,000 people, 10 minutes from a village, another an hour and a half the other way to a small city in the mountains. Well, that's nice. Yes, we have folks from all over the world in here, even Africa. Hmm. Oh, Gemini! Hello, sweetheart. Oh, gosh, yeah, you missed most of it. Ah, yes. Yeah, it's not a real event. Whatever it is, it's not real. So, um, just bear that in mind. But I've been getting that all along. This is a show. This is a movie. This is a show. It's Wag the Dog. If you haven't seen that movie, go see that movie. I'm telling you, it'll explain so much. I believe that movie is based on fact. That it is not, although it is not a factual movie, it is not a real story. It is probably telling us exactly how things are done. I believe that is a type of disclosure, soft disclosure, that everybody kind of took for being just a movie. Yes. So, oh, well, I'll show you. Maybe I can show you from this direction. It's it's this picture. I'll send it to you. I'm going to put it on MeWe too. And there's the tree break, and there's this big hairy lump. And I showed it as well as I could, but it's also in the thumbnail. I'll put it on MeWe so that you can peruse it up close. And I will put it MeWe.com for those of you who don't know, MeWe.com. Would one of our wonderful mods please find our link and put it up? Our MeWe.com link for our group, for our wonderful group, so that they can go see our pictures, because that's where we keep our pictures. It's fairly safe, a lot safer than Facebook, not as much data mining. Yeah, greatest show on earth, the battle for our awareness. Good way of putting it. A war on our perception. I think that is a very eloquent way of putting it. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Ken, Wag the Dog is happening now in the Ukraine. Absolutely. Wow, yes. An after photo. You mean the same place on the trail without that thing? Not yet. I'll get you, I hope to get out there and get one. I didn't think to take a picture. Yeah. So, yep, it looks like something very dark and hairy, all hunkered down and sitting right by the trail, just feet from where we were standing, from where I was standing taking a picture, and we didn't see it. Yeah, you got to replay. It's pretty interesting. I drew some cards, and it was interesting what came up. One card came up was pretty much me, the seer, the Queen of Wands, the seer, and it was like, are we see? Is this what we think we're seeing? the seer. It's- so there you go. It's a picture of the Sasquatch. And all hiding. And all he did was be very, very still. Yeah, ad free. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, stillness is camouflage. Yeah, act like a shadow. I do have another picture of them in the trees, blending in, and all you can really see is their shadows in the leaves. That's all you can see. Sasquatch-shaped shadows. And Robin assured me that, yeah, they like to sit up in trees. They like to hang around in trees. And that probably those Sasquatch-shaped shadows probably are Sasquatch. um, so, because she saw that picture. So I'm going to show her this one too and see what she says. We'll have her on again, hopefully. She's getting to be more known. She might be a little bit more busy now. Hope I can get her back on soon. Yeah, and it's funny how well it works that they just stay still. Covering the front war over there. Now it's a joke. Soldiers are firing at nothing. Weird, Ken. You're talking about Ukraine, right? Wow. Are we right or are we right? Wag the dog. I've been saying that all along. Wag the dog. Go see the movie if you don't know what I'm talking about. You'll know what I'm talking about once you see the movie. You'll be like, oh, yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. Yep. I've been saying that for a long time. Absolute fact in there. And just how they do things. Exactly how they do things. I really had to laugh at my old shoe, the guy that could make up a song in whatever style they needed it to be with whatever subject matter. I can do that. By the way, I can do that myself. I used to do that to amuse people on the street corner and make money. I used to just make up songs out of nothing, out of just give me a subject and make up a song, and then I could do it in whatever style. I can do that. So it was funny because I remember somebody coming up and going, "You're just like my old shoe, you're just like that guy that, my old shoe. You can do that kind of thing." It's like, yeah, I can. So I know it can be done. It's not that hard if you get the right mindset. Um, oh, you got it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to grab that film and keep it in my collection and play it every now and then to remind myself. Have a kind of a playbook. Oh boy. Look, I'm going to tell you something. It's money laundering. That's what I think. There's a lot of money laundering going on there. What are we sending over there all the time? Money, 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 money. Arms, gas. Oh, yes, they're draining our reserves. Is it to help the people who can't afford to get around? No. Yeah, I'm thinking of doing a video. It would be dangerous to do, but I'm thinking of doing a video like that. Hey, the good news is Joe's opening up the reserve tanks. The bad news is he ain't giving any to you. He's giving it to China. He's giving it to Ukraine. He ain't giving it to you, though. Oh, hey, the good news. The good news is The Inflation Reduction Act. Joe's just came up with the Inflation Reduction Act. Oh, that sounds good. Well, yeah, it sort of sounds good. Yeah. Well, it's going to force you into driving electric cars, and they hired about, what was it, 87,000 new tax auditors or something to catch people on their taxes. I'm like, wait a minute, how is that fighting inflation? The inflation, how is that reducing inflation? See, they name it things like that. It doesn't do that at all. They name it, it's like naming naming a blender uh your face's new best friend or something like that. You're some kind of facial machine. It's actually a blender or something. It's like, no, it's exactly the opposite of what you want to use. It's the exactly opposite of what it's saying. I don't know. I'll have to come up with some analogies for it, some better ones than that. That's not a good one. But it's like that. It's just totally misnamed. Yeah. Well, you know what, Justin? It's a lot of sword rattling. And it's disgusting. Oh, I've only got 15% power. That means I must needs say goodbye soon or walk into the next room to plug in. I'm going to see if I can plug in before it dies. Let me see if I can. Whoop. You're going to see real weird stuff while I run it there. Wait. Don't leave the candles unattended. Okay. See if I can get plugged in time to save the stream. You may get some very weird views here at my place. Pay it no mind. There is no cause for alarm. Oh, you get a free view of Cowboy, one of your favorite beefcake kitties. Let me make sure that it is actually charging. Okay. It's not showing that it's really charging. It's been doing this. Not charging when I plug it in. There, now it's charging. Okay. Billions of dollars going towards nothing. Yeah, billions with a B. B. Yeah, it's at our expense. We're paying for that. Yeah. 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 Oh, celebs have to go there to do concerts, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's the way they're presenting it. A dysfunctional country. Yeah. Well, I hear there was a lot of trafficking and stuff. Really. Oops, down to 3%. It may not be charging fast enough. If I disappear, you know what happened. So there's been a thing about the Ark of the Covenant being held in the nation that holds world power. And the Vatican just called back its assets to Rome. Did they pull the Ark out of the US? I don't know. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. Maybe. It's a thought, something to think about. A Stop That Damn Stupid War concert is a great idea. Yeah. Invite Sting to play Russians. Right! Scorpions to play Winds of Change. Hello. Hello, Mr. Cowboy. Hello, he's here. He says purr and meow. He is very happy I'm in here because he knows he's going to get his back scratched and his belly rubbed. Oh no, it's going down to 0%. I may not be on much longer. It literally says 0%. Take the fall of Rome. Oh, absolutely. Rome always held power for a long, long time. Ah, yes. Yes, so if I blink out, that's what happened. I still love you, so I'll say right now, just in case I do, I love you. Oh, it went up to 1%. We might be saved. I love you, and truth is where you find it. Hope you're finding some here. Hope we can discuss this more. Chronicle headache. Yeah, bummer. Well, I know how it is. For those of us who have our family online, it really hurts not to be online now. But that may be part of our problem. Well, the world is such that we find our family and we find them online. And then it's very hard to put down our AI, very hard to put down our phone, very hard to put down our tablet, very hard to turn off the computer, isn't it? Yes. So no, I'm at 1%. So as long as it holds, I'll be on. But if I blink out, you know why. Anyway, um, yeah, Bomber, you should watch it. Yeah. Hello, Fuchsius. That's me. How many people here are Ophiuchus? Okay, what signs are you guys? Oh, 2%. Hey, we're saved. The stream is saved. I'm going to be able to stay on a little while longer. Yay. I don't have to leave yet. Yeah, I understand, Bomber. I know there's another Ophiuchus in here. Is it YJ? I am. I am Ophiuchus by the new count, which is really the old count, which is the 13 moon calendar. Ophiuchus, kind of like Confucius, I guess. Um, Serpentarius also, a little easier to say. People get kind of freaked out though when I say Serpentarius. Serpent? You mean like the one in the Garden of Eden? Gee, so you got smacked in the head real good. There's a few of us in here. Isn't that interesting? If you're an Ophiuchus, type O. Show me your sign. So circle K, you're one, right? Jackie is a Capricorn, Saggy Moon. Well, I'm a Sag Sun in the old count. In the new count, I'm an Ophiuchus. Yeah, we've all been trying to send Bomber healings. She got some Of course, I could make jokes about getting sense knocked into her, but that's not likely, is it? I'm kidding. I have to tease Bomber, or she'll think I don't love her. Don't tease Bomber, she'll think I don't love her no more. So Bomber's a Libra, and that makes sense. And Gemini is, let me guess, a Gemini. Yeah. Ah, yes. Leo, with North Node in Leo. Dragon in the Chinese zodiac, and I'm a rooster. Here they come to snuff the rooster, but he ain't gonna die. That's me. A lot of things have tried to kill me, and it just doesn't happen. Just I can be sick, but I don't die from it. I just don't die. A lot of things have happened to me, but I don't die. Well, or I do die, but I come back. Like that one time. They finally managed to kill me briefly, but I came right back. That must have been horribly disappointing. Uh, I think you're going to get something good out of it, though, Bomber, somehow. Yeah, the Vedic calendar. Distant work is all I can do right now. Most of the time, you know what? I'm doing distance work. And I send angels because they can go places that my physical body can't go, and I go in my astral body, in my etheric. Oh, terrible that she's a Libra. It figures that she's a Libra. That it makes so much sense. No kidding. Libra is the only sign that is characterized by a machine and not a creature. That should tell you something. Libra is the only sign that is not a living creature. And I've heard it said by some astrologers that all Librans are aliens, every single last one of them. That's the way she saw it. Yeah, they're different. Libras are different. Every Libra in my chart is Libra would have figured prominently in my chart, but it got thrown out. I don't exactly, I'm not deep enough into astrology to understand entirely how that happens, but apparently you can have certain things in your chart that get kicked out of your chart by other things. I don't understand it entirely. So I've still got a strong Libra vibe sometimes. I'm a weird Sagittarius. Well, as a Sagittarius, I'm kind of a Sagittarius light because I have Saturn conjunct my sun. The sun ruled by Jupiter in a Sag, but I have Saturn conjunct that. So it's like railroad tracks running through this push pull, push pull. It is duality. My chart is duality. I can't say I'm non-binary. I sure am. I'm binary as all get out. Because Jupiter's expansion and Saturn's contraction. However, the thing they both have in common, money. I'm wondering where mine is. They're both money planets. Saturn is a saver, though, and hidden money. And Jupiter is the wealthy king, of course. But now I'm an Ophiuchus. I don't know as much about Ophiuchus as I do about Sag and some of the others. I'm learning. So we are an interesting bunch here, aren't we? Yeah, I always did weird stuff too. I My mother always said, "You're the strangest kid I ever knew," and she had, I guess, taken care of quite a few kids. She said, "You're the strangest kid I ever knew. You're not like any kid I ever took care of ever." And I happened to be her daughter. How does that happen? I don't know. Well, you know what? I think some of us really are. We're here. We're not generally of here. 13, it's a different number. That's right. And I'm not triskaidekaphobic, thank goodness. 13 actually is a number associated with Venus. And the Friday the 13th was originally a day that was celebrated by making love all day. Hey, Ben. I'm not going to sing the Michael Jackson song about Ben, although you just triggered that, bummer. Our friend Ben. A friend like Ben. Oh, I said I wasn't going to do that. How you doing, Ben? I'm sorry you missed most of it. You missed all the really interesting parts you're going to have to replay. So basically, I have a picture of Sasquatch in it. We looked it over and we've determined it probably is a Sasquatch. The cards seem to think so too, that it is a Sasquatch. And we didn't see it when we were on the path, but the camera found it. The camera took a picture of it. All it was doing was staying still. It put itself in a great big old hairy lump and just stayed still. Yep. Yeah, we should bring back that should be a national holiday. Right? Let's make Friday the 13th a national holiday and bring it back so that it means that, you're supposed to make love all day. Okay. So basically, pretty much at least I got it. Oh, I'm up to 5% now. At least we're going in the right direction. Okay, up to 5% battery. Yay. We're moving in the right direction here. So basically that was most of the show. We got most of the show in anyway. Most of it was just about, what do you think about this dream I told you? What do you think about this picture I found? And yes, me, I think that is a prophetic dream. And I think it has some deep meaning. And maybe we'll even see more meaning in it as things roll out. Maybe there's a reason there was clouds too. I almost think because they didn't look like real clouds. To tell you the truth, and as I was looking at them, they didn't look real. That You know what they looked like? They looked like those plasma clouds that I talk about. The plasma cloud concept I got really from watching another video. A woman was talking about how to tell the difference between clouds and plasma clouds, that the ships use to disguise themselves in the clouds. Thing is, plasma's a lot denser, and it looks a lot brighter when the sun hits it than the other clouds. I do have a picture of the balloon affair, whereas there's this great big mass of very bright looking clouds in the sky, um, probably hiding a lot of UFOs. I have a feeling they were watching the balloon launch too, maybe just for fun. The picture was taken a couple years ago. And as I was looking through the pictures, I went, holy crikey, I had forgotten about that. I thought I had lost that picture. I thought it was gone. Because, you know, I thought it was one of the ones that disappeared, but it came back somehow. But yeah, I always wondered about it because we went and looked out on the trail again and it wasn't there. Whatever that was wasn't there. So, oh, good. Taking the edge off is always a good thing, Bomber. So that was a couple years back. I wonder what would happen if I went and took some random pictures out there now. Your neighbor is fixing his roof by moonlight. What? You're hearing hammering? Maybe that's not what's going on. Maybe something else are going on. I would also ask all of you to please send my friend Tanya some healing too. She's had a very, very rough time. And she asked me to please send some protection to her sons. They're going through some very bad stuff, and I can't talk about it. But it sort of sounded like she was afraid that she wasn't going to be around anymore, which happens a lot with her, though. I mean, I've talked her down from a ledge so many times. So please send some healing to Tanya while you're at it, while we're all at it. Oh, you'd fix your roof by moonlight. Yeah. Well, maybe they're banging away on the inside instead of the outside, or or maybe they are using the light of the full moon. Maybe it's bright enough out there they can do that. Wow, I found some very old solid perfume in my collection of stuff as I was going through stuff. I'm getting ready for an inspection. I'm going through my stuff and pitching stuff and doing all that. Put just a tiny bit on. My God, is it lingering? It's certainly lingering. I keep smelling it. It smells so strong. See if somehow I got some on my hands and on my nose or something, but no. Yeah, the moon actually has a slight atmosphere. Supposedly it has a slight atmosphere. Although some people say it has some of our atmosphere. So, Sometimes it's hard to keep your vibe up. I know when I'm about to get, and it doesn't matter. Every time I'm about to have an inspection, I get the irritable bowel. I always do when I get nervous, when I get pressed, when I get stressed, I get irritable bowel. And I stop eating. Either that or I eat too much. I eat a whole lot of stuff or I eat nothing at all. It's really weird. It was called Intimate. And it smells really good. I think it might have been an Avon at some point. Biodynamics? What is a biodynamic? You must tell us, Justin. Yeah. It's hard for me to stay in a high vibration when I'm stressed out. And I don't multitask quite as well as I used to. So when I'm trying to multitask, I kind of fall apart if I'm not really careful. I used to do everything at night. It might have been Revlon, yeah. I can't remember. It was in the shape that it was a solid perfume in a container, a metal container shaped like an owl. Really cool. Oh, Rudolph Steiner. Interesting. Okay, Mr. Cowboy is saying you've been sitting here this long. You better get with the belly rubbing, Mom. You better get with the belly rubbing. I can only wait so long. Belly's not going to rub itself. Oh, that's pretty cool, Bomber. You get entertained while you garden at night in the rain. I used to like to go out in the rain. Yeah, my neighbors thought I was crazy too, gardening in the rain. Yep, I was the village weirdo, I guess. I didn't have anybody reading to me, though. I feel deprived. I was a poor deprived child. Let's face it, we're a bunch of weirdos or we wouldn't be here, would we? Wouldn't be in this chat. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Would you rather look at me or would you rather look at little cow? I'm almost thinking of turning the camera on. I'd have to turn around though. But turning the camera on, Mr. Cowboy. He's enjoying himself so much. Here, maybe I can show you. Dear, he's enjoying himself just a little too much. Look at him. This lazy cat. I don't know if I'm getting a very good picture of him. But what a lazy little kitty cat. Oh yeah, random guitar. You know what? I gotta get back to the guitar stuff and everything. I hope I can do that soon. I hope I can do the guitar playing and stuff again soon and the singing. And I love having music on the show. It's nice that you have a neighbor that's sort of understanding. My neighbors were not understanding. Hey, Marilena made it in. Yay, we managed to stay up long enough that Marilena made it in. Yay. Good morning, Marilena. Cowboy sends purrs. Lots and lots of purrs. Yeah. Yay, she has electricity for now. I gotta say this. This is crazy. We gotta do something about this guy. We gotta intend differently. Honest to God, they're planning on cutting off all the electricity over where Marilena lives in South Africa. Tell them about it, Marilena. Meow. Yep. He's very happy now because he's got me just where he wants me. He's got me in bed, just like a man. And I'm rubbing his belly. That's the way he likes it. He likes it when I'm working, doing something on my phone and rubbing his belly. That's the way he loves life. Well, there's a funny thing about musicianship. The more you do it, the better you get. If you never do it, though, funny thing about it, usually if you never do it, you never do become a good musician. Although some people can just pick up anything and play it. I have run into those people. I've known those people. Oh, yeah, I can sing. What do you want to hear? I can sing, yeah. Yeah, acoustic isn't that hard. I mean, you can do a lot of songs with just three chords if you have a good ear. I I made a lot of money on three or four chords, I will tell you. And I'm trying to think. I should know his name. Bob Dylan, who said that most pop music is only two or three chords. And he's right. It can be broken down to just two or three chords. So if you can learn just a few chords, you can play most songs with three or four, maybe four chords. Amazing. And I did for years. When I didn't know what to do, I just played it how it sounded in my head with three or four chords. Yeah. The last time I tried to play guitar, it didn't sound good. I'm going to have to do something about that. It didn't come out right on the video. Maybe if I played my acoustic, though, that may work better. The acoustic might work better. Oh no, I'm yawning. Jeez. Oh, the shepherd flute. Oh, that'd be interesting. A flute player, huh? A flautist. Are you going to flout authority? Well, well, the thing is, the electric one, just the sound came out weird. It sounded fine in the room, but in the video it came out weird. Tiptoe Through the Tulips. When Every time I think ukulele, I think Tiptoe Through the Tulips. I have in my mind this picture, and it'll be that way forever because that's what was happening when I grew up. Tiny Tim singing Tiptoe Through the Tulips, one of the biggest weirdos in the world, I swear. He was one of the original guys that makes you go, how in the heck did he get there? He was just so doggone weird. Yeah, it's funny though, but Marilyn, I don't really feel sleepy. I'm just yawning. It's weird. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I just need the extra air. Oh, you slipped under the full moon. That's nice. Yeah, that's really cool. Got all charged up. I put my stuff in the window in the pale moonlight. Not dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight. Get that out of your mind. It's cloudy outside. Oh, yeah, Marilena, you'll have to play this back because I already went through all the important stuff. So we've already gone over it. And I'm going to probably cut this after about 10 minutes because my back is really screaming. Yeah, heck, send some healing this way. It would be so nice if I didn't have this thing in my back that just is like a knife, honestly. It feels like I'm being stabbed in the lower back, in my right side, right where my hip is, sort of. I have such a pain there. It is sometimes excruciating, and I can't stand for very long. Oh, somebody's working on it. Thank you. Yes, I feel it. Thank you. Okay, it's getting better. Ah, biscuit line. Prr, prr. Cabal. We'd love to hear it sometime. Well, it's okay, Marilena. You can replay it. It's still there. But you need to see the picture of the Sasquatch. We determined it's probably a Sasquatch. Probably is actually a Sasquatch. It's hard to tell, but how many times do you see a large black hairy shrubbery? It looks like a great big black hairy blob on the edge of the path. Blob squatch. And he would have been just feet away from us. And that means as we were walking down that path, we were close enough, he just could have reached out and touched us. I had a feeling that something was going on that path. Right, huge black hairy, a shrubbery, a shrubbery. Cut down the tallest tree in the forest with a herring. That was the Knights of Ni from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. A shrubbery. Yeah, huge black hairy shrubbery. I remember I accidentally said huge black hairy bush and people took it entirely the wrong way. I said, yes, that does sound wrong. Let's call it a shrubbery. I'm not kidding. People just were, oh, really? Yeah. You gotta watch what you say around people like you with a good sense of humor. That's what I like. As a matter of fact, my helper tells me that she loves my obscene sense of humor. That's one of the things she really likes. Is I make her laugh. So, but looks ain't everything. I do funny voices too. I do funny voices. Oh gosh, you're just asking for it, aren't you? He's giving me the stare. He's giving me the look, the come on, Mom, rub my belly some more look. Well done. What, my British accent? Well done. How about let me see, can I do the silly French accent? The fake French accent? Your mother smelled of elderberries. How did he say that? And your father smelled of elderberries and your mother was a hamster. Something like weird like that. And a really silly French accent. I can't really do the silly French accent. I can do a few accents. So. Oh, we would have had fun at tea. Oh, yes, we would have had fun at tea, darling. I'm sure it would be grand. It would be so grand to have you over. I have some lovely oolong, and I have fresh made ginger. I grind it and peel it and brew it myself. Well, mate, you could come over and have some ginger beer. Gotta tease Ken a little bit now. Well, mate, you gotta come over and have some ginger beer sometime. I do a great ginger beer. Everybody moved on. Good luck getting a clean cup around here, stranger. What, you like my Aussie accent? Well, it's not like I've never heard them before. Well, Justin, you know what Eberskewer is. Eberskewer's around the holidays, one of the best foods. I'm going to make me some Eberskewers. It's one of the few Danish things I can say right or close. I hope I'm saying it right. Eberskewers. And people say, how's that spelled? And I say, I'm not sure. My dad was Danish, but I wasn't taught how to read and write Danish. And I really can't speak much Danish, except a few words. Rulpølse. Rulpølse was pressed meat. Smorgasbord. Danes invented hors d'oeuvres, I think. The smorgasbord evolved into a sandwich of sorts or a hors d'oeuvre table. Now they call it a charcuterie or something. Ebeskiver. Oh, they're so good. That conjures up happier memories of holidays. The holidays were not very happy. I call them holler days because people sat around and yelled at each other a lot. A lot of yelling during the holidays. Rupels. Yeah. Oh, that was good. My mother made a rupels. Rolled pickled meat. And you sliced it very thin and ate it on things like crackers or thin sliced rye bread. Beef was their favorite. They made a lot of beef, which is um, at least the stuff that I always got was the pounded meat, tenderized meat and gravy, tenderized beef and gravy. Beef is beef. Oh, it's Thanksgiving in Canada already? Oh, nice. And then Danish cookies. Oh, the Danes make good cookies. Wonderful cookies. They make the best sugar cookies. I cannot even get decent Danish sugar cookies anymore. It seems like in this country they don't make them. They they give us these doughy things. The original Danish sugar cookies were awesome. Rotgrat med blood. Rotgrat med blood. Did I have that? I'm trying to think of what that was. I'm sorry. It's not coming up. Not coming up in the memory banks. What is it, Justin? You know what? I would love to come and see Denmark some point. Would you be my guide someday? Hmm? We could eat a lot of really good Danish food, but you're probably sick of Danish food. Maybe I could cook you up some American food. Hmm. Happy Thanksgiving. That's very odd. I didn't even hear about it. Isn't it Columbus Day here in the States? I try to forget it every time it comes by. I think it's Columbus Day or Indigenous Peoples Day, depending on. Blessed Turkey Day, eh? No turkey here. I had chicken. What's that all about? I think we'll go back to British. Or maybe I will use my scary voice, the one that I'm going to use to read scary stories. I'm trying to come up with a proper name for this voice. What shall we name her? What should we name this voice, guys? Now you guys are going to be good at this. This will be fun. What do you want to name her? She's going to be reading Tales from the Bog. Tales from the Bog in 3D. Ah, you don't celebrate the oppression and mass genocide of my ancestors. Yeah, me either. Yeah, Columbus Day is kind of. Some people are like, Columbus Day, he was the greatest. Don't put down Columbus in front of Italians and blah blah. And I'm like, well, guys, he wasn't such a great guy, really. Oh, strawberry and rhubarb porridge. Oh, by golly, I have had that. Is that what it's called? I don't think my mother ever called it that. but I have had that. Oh, used to expose spies trying to pose as stains. Yeah, I can't figure out how to say it. Someday you must, maybe I'll type it in and see if I can. Rodgred med flod. I I can't, I can't figure it out. Yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah, something like that. There's another giveaway too. Is that I guess in some places when they say three, it's like that, like that. Three is like that. You use your thumb, but here you do that. So they used to tell spies that way. Sounds good. No, I've had that. My mother definitely made that. But she didn't say it. She never called it that. Probably that's why. She had hard enough trouble pronouncing real person and Abaskiva. One thing about the Danes is they had a good sense of humor. I used to go to the Danish parties. We had a Danish American club here, and I really miss Danish American Club, but they had great Christmas parties and great parties in general. The Danes love to party, and they know how to do it. How about akavit? Do you ever have akavit? What do you think of akavit? Oh my God. Akavit, that stuff was so strong it would put hair on your chest and your friend's chest. All in just one sip. Akavit, boy, that was weird tasting stuff. When I got old enough to drink and I'm there like, oh, I can have some akavit, and I taste it, and I'm like, and the look on my face must have been really funny because they laughed. It tastes weird. Akavit is weird, and they would drink a bunch of it with beer. I can't imagine. I can't imagine drinking a bunch of this stuff, let alone with beer. This really weird tasting stuff. You want to send a link to something heavy? Post it in MeWe, honey, and we'll all get to a chance to click on it. I would love to do that. Yeah, it gives you hangovers. I know. Akavit is the mad dog of the Danish world, of the Vikings, the mad dog of the Vikings, Viking mad dog. We have something like that over here called mad dog, but it's not nearly as bad. It's like you're taking your life in your hands if you're not used to it. And you like the flavor. See, that's it. That's so funny. I don't know. I could never get used to the flavor of it. Oh, you had agavit. Agavit is it's the weirdest tasting stuff. Yeah, it is so weird. And then drinking it with beer. It would sit up all night. You know what is a funny thing? Back in the old days, and the men would sit up all night till, well, all night to them was really not that late. Not as late as our all night is these days. To them, all night was 10 or 11. They would sit up playing cards and drinking akavit and beer at these parties and vodka. And my dad, oh gosh, here you go, bomber. My dad was a big fan of Canadian Mist. That was his favorite. That was his favorite whiskey, Canadian Mist. Okay, Black Earth Productions. Well, cool. I'll give it a click if you put it up. in our group. Yeah, hangovers. Oh my God. And they'd do this on like a Friday or Saturday, Friday and Saturday night. It was always a Friday or a Saturday night, and then Sunday, yeah, it was a Saturday night mostly, and then Sunday getting up for church. I can only imagine. Grumpy. They'd get up for church on a Sunday after drinking akavit all night. Oh my God. Well, akavit will solve your problems temporarily, but give you a whole few more, a lot more the next day. That's the thing about akavit. White dragons. Cool. Dragons. Danish people are interesting. Like I said, they have a good sense of humor. That's always. What? You think I'm not giving you enough? Well, I'm not giving you enough attention. Okay. Well, we're just talking about a bunch of silliness. It is 11:10. So I've been on 2.5 hours, and even though I could go on, um, yeah, find it and share it with us. I could go on, but now I am feeling tired. So if you guys don't mind, now I'm gonna say get along, little doggies. That means, get a mini dachshund, get along, little doggy, right? It's a Western thing. I never could understand that. Get along, little doggy. I had a mini dachshund once, so I did get along, little doggy once. But um, literally, quite literally, I used that joke for years. Okay, so I think I'm gonna say 2.5 hours is long enough. And I'm feeling like now I do need to lie down. And it's 11:11. Okay, so I love you. I will see you again on Wednesday, probably about the same time. And happy 11:11. Okay. And love to all. And truth is where you find it. Hope you're finding some on this channel. Usually it's hidden in plain sight, just like in that photo. And remember, you are divine. You are creators. So create well and wisely, and when you dream, dream big and well. And tell people that you love them because life can be very uncertain. Okay. White Dragon Prophecy. We'll have to look that up and see if we can get that in our MeWe chat. And please feel free to post whatever you want in MeWe. That's why we have it, is so we can share things with each other. We have MeWe so that we don't get let's just say I don't trust Facebook worth as far as I can throw them, but I can pretty much trust MeWe. MeWe hasn't done anything to us. We haven't had any censorship or any kind of weird stuff on MeWe at all, which makes it a little more boring in some cases, but honestly a lot safer. So it's kind of our repository of knowledge. So we're kind of storing our knowledge over in MeWe. And by the way, I am going to look into I'm going to try and get stuff uploaded to Rumble. I also have a membership on BitChute. Um, I got a membership on Odyssey. I think I still do. I got to check it. Um, I'm going to try and get some time to upload things to there and get some kind of a presence in these alternative sites just in case really bad things happen on YouTube. But let's intend that nothing does, okay? Let's intend that Mama D's site stays up. Okay. Anti-social media platform. I love you guys. I really do. Okay, good night. Night, night. Oh, Cowboy. Cowboy says good night too. You gonna wave at him again? Were you waving before? You can see him. I don't know if you can really see him. Yep. Good night.